Hello, everyone. It's Sheila Dancho here, and I am happy to talk to you today about harmonic life, living a harmonic life, living in balance, really discovering the path to balance, growth, and purpose. And I have a special guest speaker tonight. Barbara, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, Barbara Badolati, and I am also in the wellness industry and focused on helping you to sleep in natural ways.
Love that, because sleep is super important. So Barbara, tell me, I don't know that much about how you even got on this track of sleep. Tell me a little bit more about your story, because I know the listeners know a lot about me, but so let's hear a little bit about you and how did you become a sleep expert?
Well, it's interesting when I heard your story about what happened to you, and all the walls falling down. That's pretty much what happened to me too. I don't know why you and I had to have a major wake-up call. That's what happened, right? But that's what moved me into this wellness industry in my 20s. And I'm so grateful that I've had it. And of course, it has different twists and turns, right? From yoga to now really focused on sleep, which I actually have been. I created my first Sleep in Peace CD, 50 minutes of guided relaxation in 1992.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was kind of way ahead of this big trend that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And also the precipice for that was my mom, a single mom of 4 children, working third shift in a hospital. And because she wanted to be a mom, especially during the day, she never slept. And so
Wow.
I really saw firsthand how it impacted her health, from weight to
Mm-hmm.
other lifestyle factors. She's an awesome person, like really made our childhood fantastic in many ways
Mm-hmm.
at the sacrifice of her own health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that and also having her die so at
Mm-hmm.
an early age, really, I looked at that and I thought sleep and stress were the two
Wow.
big things that she really didn't have enough sleep,
Mm.
had high levels of stress. And then
Mhm.
that impacted everything, which is what we're going to talk about with harmony and balance.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Yes. So it sounds like your mom was trying to be super mom, super career, super everything, and she sacrificed her health. And that's, I think a lot of women do that. They really do. And I was on that road at 32 and basically hit that brick wall, ended up in the hospital and burnout because I took very much pride in not getting a lot of sleep. I thought I was doing great. Hey, I could run on 5 hours of sleep and 5 hours of sleep and a pot of coffee, and ended up, really burning out my adrenal glands and walking around in mental fog for 2 years after my second child was born, and just dragging myself around and not feeling like myself. And you're right, it affects your weight, it affects everything about you. And you think you're doing great until your body really sends a message and saying, no, look, you have to start looking after yourself. Mm-hmm.
Well, and one of the things I want to say that we're going to be offering, like we're going to talk about just a few of these things, but we really want to be able to provide some solutions for you. So just do a little assessment, like how is your life balanced? And not every day is going to be balanced. Not every day are you going to sleep well. Not every day are you going to get your 10,000 steps in. I mean, this is life and we're all managing and we're doing the best we can. So first of all, cut yourself some
Yeah.
slack, take a breath and know that you're really doing the best you can. And this is an opportunity for you to
Yes.
assess and see what things maybe could be tweaked. So we're going to focus mostly just on this fitness aspect, which is even your sleep is part of your
Mm-hmm.
fitness well-being, right? If we
Right.
want to
Right.
put it that way.
Right.
So what are some little things that we can, like, we're going to share a couple of things. I already have a couple in my mind, but what,
Okay.
like one little thing that you
Yeah.
can think of when it comes to balance and how to fit it in?
Well, I think something you just said is really key. It's to take an assessment of where you're at. And one of the things I teach is, in January is a great time, but you can do it now. Like, look at your life this past 12 months in the 7 areas that I teach about harmonic, having a harmonic life, the areas that you need to balance, and assess where you're at and what areas are you maybe not addressing and not paying enough attention to, and then put a plan in place to help you get there. But as a short, quick tip, you know what? I really like to wind down the day with a walk. Now, I always take the dog for 30 minutes, but it could even be 5-10 minutes. And I really love just going for a walk and not listening to a podcast and not looking at my phone and just completely turning off social media and just living in the present moment. When I do, I go for this walk, I look around, what do I see? And I say, what do I hear? And what do I feel? And so I really live in that moment, that present moment. And by doing that, I really clear my mind. I relax my mind. I relax my body. And it's like being in a meditative state. And
Yeah.
that really helps me unwind for the night. How about you?
Well, and that's that transition too. And I like too that, it's the little things that add up. It's not the big things, right? It's not necessarily like the 30-hour workout, right? And also you're layering, right? You're layering your meditation with your wind down. You're layering that pet connection, right? That you're layering being in nature and breathing. You're layering gratitude and appreciation, right? So you've kind of like just this little block of time, and you're not doing a lot, but a lot is being done, right? So I think that too, if we can, like, I was in the car for hours today. It was like, how am I ever going to get my walk in? First of all, I'm starving. I haven't even really I'm ready to eat like a healthy meal. Who's going to make that for me? Right? There's all these things I'm thinking of. I'm like, okay, what could I do right now in the car? I could turn off everything. Like, I don't need music playing right now, even if it's pleasurable. Like, let's just turn that off. And let's just maybe do some breathing techniques. Like, we all know that. We should all know about breathing by now. Or maybe just doing some abdominal, or pelvic lifts, right? And I hear all the time, especially my clients, I always have to get up to pee. I have to wake up to pee. Then I'm awake. I'm like, okay, we'll start doing some Kegels like you did when you were, you know what I mean? Like, so little things like that, where I'm like, yeah, little areas that we can fit and weave it into the life, or layer it like you were talking about. And then we have that sense of accomplishment. And with the sense of accomplishment, we're more apt to continue on that path of success, right? Versus beating ourselves up and, oh, I didn't do it yesterday, so I'm not going to get it done today. And you know what I mean? So thank you for the inspiration, because I'm thinking, well, it's dark and I might have to bundle up. That's no excuse for me not to do maybe a 10-minute walk before I,
And once you do it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, now it's starting to become a pattern. So once you have it as a pattern, it just becomes part of your wind down activity, your wind down pattern or your wind down rituals. And once it becomes that pattern or habit, then it's very easy to do. But it takes some conscious focus to say, okay, it's time for me it's 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever time you wind down, maybe 10 o'clock. It's time for me to go for that walk. It's time for me to relax. It's time for me just to turn off my phone. And it's my personal time to just breathe, live in the moment, and meditate. And then when you do that, for about 21 days, you won't even need to think about it. It's just like, okay, it's time to go for my evening walk. And then it becomes a lifestyle. And I teach a lot about lifestyle.
And on day 26 or 42 or 44 through 82, because your mom is in the hospital, whatever, remember, nothing is going to stay the same, right? So we got to get real about this. Yes, that's the magic 21 day. And the point is that you're being very deliberate and intentional. And if something happens, that's okay. You do it when you can the next day, right? So I think what we're really driving home is awareness and assessment. Where is the imbalance? Is it something big, or is it something that just needs a tweak? How can you maybe incorporate it into what you're already doing? Or maybe something was said that was an inspiration, like, oh, I never thought about 30 minutes in between my waking day and my sleep time. So what we want to do is just like give you some different ideas, different tips, and inspire you to assess and make those little changes that can make a big impact as well. And if anybody wants to message me or I'm definitely here, or go to my website, I'm definitely here to support you. I do also have a Sleep Blissful Now page on Facebook, and I have a travel into your inner sanctuary meditation that people really like, that it helps them drift off into sleep. So it's a nice little gentle meditation. And so that's available too, where they can just, you can go to my website and get that.
So what is your website again, Barbara?
Yep, just it's sleepblissful.com.
Sleepblissful.com. Okay, sleepblissful.com. And I also have a free offer tonight. If you would like my top 20 mindset tips, simple things you can incorporate to have a better mindset. Like it's simple things, but powerful. So the top 20 mindset ideas or tips, I call them top 20 mindset tips.
What is one of them? Could you tell me just one of them? I'm really curious.
Well, you may laugh at this, but one could be well, I have 20, but one would be having a cold shower in the morning. Once you're showering, the last few seconds, just turn it down a little colder, a little colder, a little colder, and that will actually really get your mind wide awake and get you fired up and ready for the day. That's a tip that Tony Robbins teaches. He does the cold plunges. I'm not quite as extreme, but even just cooling down and finishing your shower with it being on the very cool side will make a big difference. One of the guys I was coaching, I had him do that, and it really made a difference, just getting fired up and ready to go for the day. So that's just one of the 20.
Yeah, and it actually comes from the Indian tradition. That's one of the things with yoga, is that we've incorporated that into our lifestyle. So there's a lot of physiological benefits as well as mentally too. So yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I know. I always am like, oh gosh, okay, I know what's right. I should be doing that again. So well, thank you so much. I'm glad that we got to do this.
So if you want my top 20 mindset tips, just in the comments here, just comment mindset, and I will reach back to you and send those to you in Facebook Messenger.
That sounds great. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So we're here for you if you're interested to hear more or have more coaching. Both Barbara and I are life coaches, and Barbara specializes in sleep. And oh, you didn't even mention your book. You have a new book out.
Yeah, it made it to #1 bestseller. It's Sleep Blissful: Natural Ways to Fall Asleep, Stay Asleep, and Wake Refreshed. Based on you coming up with your own natural circadian rhythms and mostly the lifestyle. Because that has a lot to do with our sleep as well. So thank you so much. I'm really, really grateful that we got to do this, and I hope that it was helpful for people.
So do I, and I believe it will. Great value. And you're right. If you have a good night's sleep, the next day you feel like $1 million. So thank you, Barbara. Have a wonderful night. And thank you for all listening to the live as well as the replay. We appreciate you. We love you, and feel free to comment and share. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.